became man in form. God became man in nature. God became man in every way, thus epitomizing all that man is in essence, and that with perfection. God became man. But the question must be asked, why? Why would God, infinitely above and beyond all creation, leave the glory and majesty of his heavenly abode to sojourn among fallen men upon an earth that he himself cursed? Why would God divest himself of the grandeur, magnificence, and sublimity that he enjoyed as creator simply to become a creature like the rest of his creation? Well, the answer really is very simple. He came to bring to mankind a blessing that was desperately needed. He did not come to stay. He did not come to live here forever. He didn't come to rule and reign upon an earthly throne. He did not come as an earthly sovereign to exercise despotic dominion. No, he came as a sort of postman to deliver a package that his creatures had been anxiously waiting to receive. Understand, he came to earth for a limited and predetermined time. God invaded our space, time, and matter continuum to accomplish one specific task: to save us from sin. Anybody grateful? Well, John explained it to us in this way. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And then after a brief parenthetical about John the Baptist, John the apostle went on to write, and of his fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. He came to deliver a package called grace. Jesus came full of grace and truth. But you must know that truth was not a gift or a present for us. As a matter of fact, truth in its essential nature often brings with it condemnation and judgment. And this is definitely the case with our world. When Jesus came into this world, he found it worthy of divine condemnation and punishment. It lay in the grip of wickedness. Its testimony was, there is none righteous, no, not one. Its testimony was, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But this is exactly why Jesus came into the world. Jesus came into the world because the world was guilty. Jesus came into the world because the world merited condemnation. And this is why John emphatically declared that Jesus came to us full of grace and truth. Now, I want you to consider something for a moment. Consider, if you will, the order in which John juxtaposes grace and truth, because it is extremely important. Grace preceded truth in John's concept. Now, this is not merely a matter of semantics. It is not simply a matter of syntax or wording. No, in actuality, our salvation hinges upon the fact that grace comes before truth. Why do you say that, Pastor? Well, to make it clear, let me first explain to you what grace is and why it is such a wonderful gift. Grace is often defined or described as the unmerited favor of God. Have you ever heard that? Okay. Let me expand that. Grace is the eternal and absolute free favor of God, manifested in the granting of spiritual blessings to the guilty and the unworthy. Grace is the sovereign and saving favor of God exercised in sending blessings upon those who have no worth in themselves. This has been done without any demand for compensation. Grace is completely unmerited and unsought, and is totally unattracted by anything in or from the objects upon which it is bestowed or to which it is given. It cannot be bought, it cannot be earned, it cannot be won. If it could, then it would no longer be grace. God's grace, then, is an endowment upon those who are so averse to God that they cannot turn to him. It is a gift to those who are so corrupt that they cannot change their own natures. It is a donation to those who are so blind that they cannot see him, a grant to those who are so deaf that they cannot hear him. In short, this grace comes from God to those who are so dead in sin and trespasses that God himself must ransack their spiritual graves and lift them into resurrection. And that's exactly what he's done for each and every one of us. When we were dead in sins and trespasses, he quickened us. He made us alive in him. What an awesome thing. This grace is the product, the offspring